It's good to be here. Good to be here. Love Pastor Mike, Pastor Lisa, amazing pastors, aren't they? We love you. Thank God for you, for who you are, and all that you do. It is just a inspired church. It's it's a great place to be, and it's good to have my wife Brenda here with me. Brenda and I in April will be 40 years that we've been married. I'm still in training, Yeah. Just when I think I got her figured out, it's like a new day. How many of your husband can say amen right there? It's like, I'm learning new things every day. But it's good to have Brenda here with me as well. In the last 2-3 weeks, almost everywhere I've gone, the same question or variation of that question has come up. And people ask me, so how did you get into what you do? How did you get into speaking and writing and consulting, coaching, those kinds of things? How did you get into what you do? And my answer is the same. I'm the biggest accident you've ever seen. There's nothing strategic, nothing planned. It kind of happened. However, as I reflect on that question, especially recently, I know that I could be further down the road if somebody had come by and told me what I want to share with you this morning. If somebody had come by and said to me, Sam, you were born with destiny. That you were not born just to occupy space on H1, H2, and H3 and just clog up the traffic. You're not just born to just suck oxygen and occupy space. You were put on this planet with destiny in your life. So I want to simplify and just say it to you this way. I have destiny, you have destiny, and we have destiny. Everyone together. I have destiny, you have destiny, and we have destiny. Okay, get your fingers out there. We're going to do some exercise here. Yeah. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I have destiny, you have destiny, and we have destiny. One more time. I have destiny, you have destiny, and we have destiny. My mother went on to be with Jesus in 1982, but she saved all of my report cards from pre-K, K, and so on. Saved all my report cards. In my kindergarten report card, a pre-K report card, the teacher writes, Sam talks too much. Sam is disruptive. In kindergarten, my teacher writes, Sam has started biting other children. Sam talks too much. In my first grade class, her name was Miss Boniface, the teacher's name, and you know how there are desks and there are rows that you walk on the floor. Normal kids do. They walk on the floor. But me not being that, I can still remember first day of first grade, I'm walking on top of the desk. So in the comment section, the teacher writes, Sam does not pay attention. He talks too much, talks too much, talks too much. Guess how I make my living today? Talking. I'm here to tell you, if you know that I have destiny, you have destiny, and we have destiny, doesn't matter what they say about you, doesn't matter what they write about you, doesn't matter what you say about yourself, because I was born with destiny. Everyone together, get your fingers out there. 1, 2, 3. I have destiny, you have destiny, and we have destiny. 4 quick things about destiny. Number 1, there are destiny decisions. Everyone makes destiny decisions. All of us are in this room, regardless of your age, about 4 to 6 destiny decisions. 4 to 6 destiny decisions. In my life, I'll be 66 in October. I have made 4 destiny decisions. I'm not talking about where you're going to go to eat. Could be a destiny decision. Yeah, we only remember the places that we got sick at. I'm never going to go back again. So, yeah, wash your hands next time. So, in my life, there are basically 4. One was at the age of 20 in 1973 when I immigrated from India to the United States of America. I came here, didn't know anybody. I'm talking about zero. Landed in JFK Airport in New York with literally 87 cents in my pocket. So that was a destiny decision to move to another country. At the 20, didn't know anybody. So that was a destiny decision. Second destiny decision was getting married to Brenda. She chased me and chased me and chased me till I slowed down one day, and next thing you know, it's 40 years. Because who you marry is a destiny decision. Can everyone go, mm-hmm? Not oh. That was not a smart thing to do. But like, mm-hmm, 1, 2, 3, mm-hmm. It's a very important decision. Number 3 destiny decision I made was when Brenda and I were pastoring a church in Michigan. The Lord allowed us to move to Atlanta to be president of a university. So that was a destiny decision. And number 4 decision, the last decision I made that I would consider a destiny decision, was in 2003, leaving the university, resigning from there and doing what I do now. Destiny decisions. Everyone's making destiny decisions. In the Bible, God came to Abraham. Abraham was 75 years of age. He was married to a woman called Sarah. And Sarah could not have babies. So God came to Abraham, made him a promise at the age of 75. Hey, you're going to have a baby. And that baby will have more babies. And you're going to have so many children like the sands of the sea and the stars of the sky. At the age of 75, he got that promise. At the age of 78, no baby. At the age of 80, no baby. At the age of 83, no baby. At the age of 85, no baby. How many of you know they're not getting younger? and at the age of 86, Sarah, the wife, had an idea. She says to Abraham, hey, listen, I got this concubine. Why don't you have a baby with her? So her name was Hagar. And so Abraham and Hagar had relationships, and Hagar got pregnant. And at the age of 86, when Abraham was 86, they had a baby. His name was Ishmael. But he was not the son of promise. 14 years later, at the age of 100, when Abraham was 100, they had a baby, the son of promise. His name is Isaac. Ishmael and Isaac. The descendants of Ishmael today are known as the Arabic nations. The descendants of Isaac are known as the Jewish nation. How many of you would look at the turmoil in our world and say that was a destiny decision? You see, destiny decisions are never decisions that end with you. They always have consequences for people that are coming up behind you. So whatever decisions we make today have consequences to them. You might be sitting here today making destiny decisions. You might be online watching me from all the other places in the world making destiny decisions as to what to do with the rest of my life, what to do with my education, how should I manage my finances, destiny decisions to get married, to stay married. I know it's Sunday morning. The more stuff happens on the way to church. Oh, yeah. Brenda and I used to have all these fights Sunday morning for no reason. They're special Sunday morning demons who start brushing their teeth Saturday night on the way to church Sunday morning. So, yeah, so you're making decisions about whether to stay married. You're making decisions about whether to quit your job, start a business, or quit your business, go get a job. You're making decisions as to where you're going to live, what are you going to do with the rest of it. Some people might be making decisions as to whether to continue living. I mean, all of us just watched the recent news over the last 2 days when this guy stole a plane in Seattle. How do you steal a plane? I mean, stealing a Toyota, a Honda, I get that. But, I mean, plane is nothing. You just drive out of a parking space and drive off. And if you saw the YouTube or you saw it on the news, this is a humongous, big old plane. 28-year-old young man. And while he's flying, you've seen the video of the conversation between the air traffic controller and this young man. And they're talking to each other. And the air traffic controller is saying to him, hey man, just land the plane. In fact, there's McNair Air Base right here, you can do that. Or just put it in the ocean. Just don't hurt nobody. And the guy says to him, 28-year-old young man says to him, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think something is wrong. I might have a few screws loose. That's what he says. Then in the middle of it, he says, do you think this plane can do flips? Air traffic controller says to him, man, don't hurt nobody. Just put it down. There's an airstrip right there. And then the young man, on purpose, committed suicide. He was making what kind of decision? Destiny decision. Imagine being, my mind, I'm thinking about his parents. Because the last words of their son, I don't know if he was married. I don't know anything about that yet. But imagine, those are the last words of their son, memorialized forever. Destiny decisions. I don't know what destiny decisions you're making. But the second thing I want to tell you about is there are destiny distractions. Destiny distractions. Destiny decisions. But then there are distractions around the way. Abraham having relationship with Hagar was a destiny distraction. Okay, let me break it down for you like this. Have you ever said, I'm going to clean this side of the house today? And you started on it. And the day ended. And nothing got done? Yeah, Brenda and I, when we were going together in college back in the 70s, we used to write letters to each other. So we got boxes of letters we've written to each other. And so there are all these cardboard boxes, and we decided one day we're going to clean up that area. And the first box on top was the box with letters. So we started reading those letters. How many of you know nothing happened that day? Destiny distractions. Because wherever you're going, there will be distractions in life. And people get distracted. Our cemeteries are full of poets who never wrote a poem. Our cemeteries and graveyards are full of people who were musicians, but they never sang a song. Our cemeteries and graveyards are full of people who had gifts in them, but those gifts never came out because they had distractions. I mean, why do you want to die? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I've got a question for you. You getting younger? And we always say, I'm going to wait till this happens. I'm going to wait till that happens. When my kids leave the house or when I get married. And when there's always that marker somewhere, when that happens, then I'll do this. And how many of you know that is still there? Destiny distractions in our life. And the question is not what is distracting you. In most cases, the question is who is distracting you. You were in college at one time, 18, 19, 20, then you said, I'm going to take a break and get a job. Now you're 87. That got distracted. Got married, had a baby, got distracted. Distractions. And distractions in life will keep you from fulfilling the destiny that God has placed in your life. Because I have destiny, and you have destiny, and we have destiny. Number 3. God has blessed us with destiny developers. Destiny what? Developers. So the first one is we have destiny decisions. Oh, there's people. I didn't know there was a cheat sheet behind me. And here I'm getting impressed with you all, like they really know their stuff. There's a cheat sheet behind me. Can you take that off just for a second and put it back up? Yeah. There you go. Now. Now then. Let your neighbor know how smart you are now, huh? Mm-hmm. Let's remove all doubt. Okay. In life we make what? Destiny decisions. However, we can also have destiny distractions. But God has blessed us with destiny. You can put it back up there. Good class, good class, good class, good class. I'm proud of you. destiny developers. When we are born, God gives us parents. I just love the way you did the dedication service here. I looked at Brenda and said, that's a really neat way to do that. And your kids grabbing the microphone, like me. Now, they'll grow up better than me, but yeah, I was grabbing the mic too. So when we are in this life, our parents come as developers, built-in developers. Until the age of 12 or 13, our parents are brilliant, smart, wise. But then, something happens to them. And they just kind of lose it. By the time you're 14, 15, like they don't know anything. So we have to tell them how to drive, where to park, what to wear, what to eat. I mean, it's like, my parents are clueless. And then you live a little longer, and they get smarter again. Have you not noticed that? My mother died in 1982. My dad died in 1991. I'm almost 66. And I still have those days in which I say, wish mom was here, wish dad was here. How many of you know what I'm talking about? That I could talk to them. They develop us in our life. I mean, our parents let us live. The only reason we're all in this room is because our parents let us live. If you have never been homicidal, you're not a parent. Oh, yeah. And then, not only our parents are developers, our pastors are developers. See, I was born and raised in a pastor, so my daddy was a pastor. And I wish somebody had explained to me that they don't just preach. Preaching is what you do, but the purpose behind the preaching is that we be what? We'd be developed. So they're not just chanting and preaching and teaching and spitting. That's why the front row is usually empty. They are trying to do what? They're trying to develop. So if I could have heard the messages and the preaching in my life more than just teaching or preaching, if I could have understood that their purpose is so that when I came in, I will leave different than I came in. A development takes place in my life. I grow, I mature, I go on a higher level. There has to be a change. You know, if somebody sees you 3 years from now and says, hey, you're still the same, that's not a compliment. That pretty much means you stunted. Developers. But then there are some tragic episodes in our life that can help us develop as well. It was 2012. My older daughter, Rachel, I got two daughters. Rachel's 37, Debbie's 35. Rachel was expecting her second baby. And his name was going to be Jude, a boy, Jude. So they prepared, her and her husband prepared this. His bedroom had Jude everywhere. Car seat said Jude. We were even singing the great hymn of the church written by the Beatles. Hey, Jude. That's a great worship song. We ought to sing that more often in churches. Excited about the baby's birth. It was a day for the baby to be born. Took Rachel to the hospital. Our whole family was there. Her husband's whole family was there. Our pastor was there. Friends were there. It was going to be a great time. They wheeled Rachel back into the delivery area. We were sitting there. And then kind of felt like it's taking a little too long. After a while, the doctor comes out, said to us, could I speak to the family in the conference room? We went back in the conference room. Doctor looked at us and said, we tried our best, but we were not able to save the baby. We were not crying, we were not weeping, we were heaving. I've done, as a pastor, I did many, many, many funerals. I did funeral for my own father, my father-in-law, mother-in-law. I mean, I've done dozens and dozens of funerals. But the hardest funeral was for my grandbaby, this little Jude. So that night we went home, empty car seat, went to the mailbox where the ribbons had said, "Welcome home, Jude." Pulled down the balloons. Went to the bedroom, closed the door. What would have been Jude's room? Tragedy indeed. But God has development opportunities in spite of the tragedy. His full name was going to be Jude Rockwell. So today, in India, in my hometown of Lucknow, in North India, there's an academy from pre-K and up known as Jude Rockwell Academy. Over 300 kids, none of them Christians, Hindus, Muslims, Buddhists, Sikhs, Jains, Parsis, different religions, come to that blatantly Christian school. The Bible is a textbook. Memory comes from Bible verses. Every class starts with singing and prayer. Chapel every day. Hey, Jude! Because you see, in the middle of your tragedies of life, and that just happens to be my story, but you have stories too. In the middle of your tragedies of life, God is developing destiny in your life. Destiny developers all around us. So we make destiny decisions. We deal with destiny distractions. God blesses those destiny developers. But number 4, it takes destiny determination to make it happen. Let me just be as brutally honest with you as I can. Life is tough. Life is difficult. Whenever you see somebody who has achieved it or going to the next level, whatever that means, or they are successful, you have no idea where they've been in life. Life is difficult. You can sing about the sweet by and by, but we live in the nasty now and now. Takes determination to complete your education. Takes determination to get out of debt. Takes determination to stay married. I made Brenda a promise 40 years ago when we got married. If you ever leave me, I'm coming with you. Takes determination. Hey, listen. It takes determination to stay in church. Because if you're not careful, somebody sitting close to you can give you reason not to come back. You got to determine, inspire, is my house. This is my church. This is my home. God brought me here. I'm staying here. You can run me off. You can offend me out of here. You can do anything. I am determined. This is my home. Determination. Takes destiny, determination to make life happen. In Jeremiah chapter 29, God comes to Jeremiah in verse 1. He says this, Jeremiah 29, verse 1. Now these are the words of the letter that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem unto the residue of the elders which were carried away captives, and to the priests and the prophets, and to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babylon. Leave it up there for a second. One of the things I love about the Bible is that it does not try to sugarcoat and make it all sweet. So even in that one verse, God is describing and saying to the people, I know who you are. And God says to them, in case you think I don't know, let me tell you who you are and what you're going through. So he's writing this to the leaders of the Jewish community who are not in their home country but prisoners of war. They have been carried away by the king whose name is Nebuchadnezzar to another country called Babylon. He says, I know you are in captivity. That means you are in slavery. And so God is saying to them, before I say anything else to you, I know where you're at. Isn't that great to know that you don't have to inform God about where you are in life? God knows exactly where you are and says to you, I'm cool with that. I know where you're at. Oh, God, don't you see what I'm going through? Yeah, I do. I know exactly where you're at, who you are, how you got there. And then the feeling over there had to be, oh, we are prisoners of war. We are captive. We are another country. We have no help. We have no hope. This is it. This is our destiny. But God has a surprise for them in verse 10 and 11. Verse 10. For thus says the Lord. Just a few verses later, this is what God is saying. For thus says the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word toward you in causing you to return to this place. Verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil. I want to park for a minute on the last phrase. To give you, and what are the next two words? Expected, and everyone together, expected, and 1, 2, 3, expected. Verse 1, I know where you're at. You are prisoners of war. You are in slavery. You are in another country. I know you're feeling helpless, and I know you're feeling hopeless. But then he ends verse 11 by saying, but you need to know, I have an expected end. Because the people in slavery were saying, this is it. But God is saying, this is not it. I have an expected end. I got good news for you online and in this room. Doesn't matter where you are in life right now. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life right now. Does not matter. God has an expected end. Oh, once you know there's an expected end, you keep on going because God is in charge. He's got an expected end for you and me. Never give up. And now I got to expand what I've been talking about. So watch me and then we'll do it together. I have destiny. You have destiny. We have destiny and nothing can stop me. Oh, somebody, get your fingers up, get your fingers up, get your fingers up, get your fingers up. 1, 2, 3. I have destiny. You have destiny. We have destiny and nothing. Somebody yell out nothing. One more time. One more time. Okay, I have destiny. You have destiny. We have destiny and nothing can. Oh, once you know that, nothing can stop you. You keep on going, knowing that there is an expected end. When I was in 10th grade, growing up in India, 10th grade, I flunked my 10th grade. I failed my 10th grade. So we had 13 subjects in that class. Average flunkies, amateur flunkies, flunkies who don't know what they're doing. Flunk maybe 1 class, 2 class, 3 classes. But if you are a professional like me, I flunked all 13 classes. I mean, listen. Can we talk about this? If you're gonna flunk, have some self-respect. Take some pride in your work. Do it with excellence. Let people down the halls of the school say, whoa. Flunky. When I grow up, I want to be like him. I flunked my 10th grade, all of it. My friends went on to the 11th. I had to stay back, finish up 10th again. If you had walked up to me then, tapped me on my shoulder and said, Sam, one day, you're going to be a president of a university in the United States of America, I would have said to you, what, you smoking? I've obviously got some bad stuff. But if I wanted to be biblical, I would have said, get thee behind me. Because see, 10th grade, flunky. Obviously not into education. My parents immediately downsized their dream. All my friends have moved up. Now I am classmates with people I used to poke fun of. You know how that works. But 1989, I ended up being president of University in Atlanta, Georgia. You know why? Because I was born with an expected end. And doesn't matter what happened, there was nothing. And that's a good word for somebody here in this room and online. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life. God has an expected end.